Cool. Hi. Welcome. Welcome. Let's see what's going on here. Looks like I'm live and I don't know if I'm live. Well, let's see. Hi, sorry, I'm here. I'm well. I am just, I'm playing around. I'm using a different streaming service, and I think I'm also live on YouTube, but I don't necessarily know because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Let's look. My channel. Yep, looks like I'm live on YouTube. Awesome. So if you're joining me from YouTube, welcome. Fantastic. Yeah, so today I am going to be doing some stuff with the Create Blocks package, which is super duper cool. We just released we just added a feature to it that allows us to use local template directories to manage our templates, because if you remember in my past stream, we had to do some things with, we had to publish to an NPM package, and we would call template, and then it would download from there, which is great, but that's not always useful depending on what, depending on certain things, such as, let's say that you were an agency and you didn't necessarily want to have your stuff available for public consumption. Maybe it's part of a scaffold that you're using. Florida Coder Man, welcome aboard. How you doing? Yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about today. We're gonna mess around with some of this stuff. So I am going to. So, anyways, I do this every time, but what I am using right now is I'm using local for my local development environment. I find it easy. It's simple to set up. Whatever you're using is totally cool and totally fine. Yes, this just gives me a quick environment to mess with. Yeah, and I am also using VS Code, as you can see here. Cool. So this is the repository. I've cut a new branch. Oh, I should also probably link you to the repository, which I never do. I always forget to do it. So it's here. This is the repository for the code that this stream will generate. I'm going to try this new chat thing. So hopefully you guys see that. You all see that, I should say. Yeah, so that's the repository where this code goes. So every week I'll do a stream, and then I'll I cut a branch and then push that branch up. You can see we have streams by date, and then I merge it into trunks, so it's always available there. Yeah, anyways, so that's that. Coolio. All right, so I guess that's in there. I'll close this down. Okay, so what we're going to do today, sorry, I'm a little scattered. I have to drink more coffee, stand by. What we're going to do is I'm going to, we're going to talk about templates. We're also going to talk about using local directories to use those templates. And so we're going to build a template, and then we're going to access it locally. That's kind of the deal. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get into, can you guys see that? I'm going to bump that up a bit. Sorry, bear with. There we go. So I am in my WordPress directory, LA. You can see I'm going to just cd into plugins. All right, and I'm going to just clear this so we have some more space. I'm going to run npx. See, it's already in there. So I'm just going to run this just so we get some files, and then I'll play around with it. But I'm going to call it today's date, which is October 28th. 2021, and that's going to scaffold out a plugin for us. Yes, I'd love to install that package. So what npx does versus npm, if you're not familiar, npx it allows you to use a package. It downloads it temporarily. I think it might hold it in cache in your node, your user's node folder somewhere, and then it just runs it, and then it kind of gets rid of it. So it doesn't. You don't have to create a package. Oh, that's fun. Why'd that do that? Oh, I wonder. That may be because I'm using an M1 Mac and I have to be using Rosetta. So yeah, that could be it. So what this is doing behind the scenes, we'll just jump over to VS Code in here and plugins. You can see that we have this new thing. It's downloading. It's downloaded all of this all of these files for us. Let's make sure that you guys can see that. All these files for us, and oops, what did I do that for? Plugins right there. In the source, we've got a little plugin ready for us. That's fun. Why does it keep doing that? Okay. Maybe, is it done doing that now? Yeah, that's probably what it was. Okay, cool. So we have this little block. So if we cd into that directory now, we can just say cd. I'm going in 2001, and if you npm run start, we should get a build. We jump over here into our post. So let's do one for today's stream, which we'll call it creating custom templates. Sure. And then we'll, I don't even know what the block's called. So what do we, you know what? I think I have to enable the plugin. I'm going to save this as a draft. Oh, I was sitting here going, why is this not letting me publish? And that's because last stream we did this really cool little pre-published checklist thing. So that wasn't letting me publish. I think this is the one. Let me just, nope. That's the one. So got that activated. We'll go back to the posts and go here. And let's just jump over and see what the block is going to be called. So if we look in block.json, we can see it's called the today's date. Okay, so just do a little October. There it is. There's our block. So super duper simple block. So we're there. We're good. I'm going to make a couple of changes to this because we want to have more than one block in here. So I'll just do that. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to do a new folder, and I'll call this block 1. Right, I'm going to take all these files and drop it into block 1. And then I'm going to take the block.json and also block. Did I copy that? Hold on. I'm going to move those files in. Yes, there we go. Okay, and then put the block.json in there as well. And then in here, we're going to register the block type, and we're going to go plugin, what is it, dir path. I'll go file, right, file, and then close that, and just, this is this. Oh, come on. And then we go source. Yep, source block 1. So that should still register the block. Should be good to go there. We can just double check that. It works. Oh, I know why. Okay. So we move that. We also moved the block.json. So we now have to tell it it's not actually sitting at the same level. So we got to come out 2 levels here. 1 to the source, 1 to the build. And if we do this, we can just copy that. Copy that. Hopefully everything works here. Let's delete this and just make sure. October. Nope, I broke it. Why did I break it? So we come out 1 directory, 2 directories to the build index. Okay. As usual, we'll take a look at the sources. Oh, we got all these things going on here. So what do we got in this error? There's an error happening. Can't perform. Okay, that's not something we need to really worry about. So let's look at the sources. Again, this is a great way of just seeing if your stuff is getting loaded. So that looks like it's getting loaded. CSS is being loaded. But the editor script is not, which is super duper strange. Oh, wait, nope, no, should be fine. Index, that's okay, looks like there's a build script issue, so hold on, let's the other thing that we're gonna want to do here is I'm gonna go ahead and steal, where is that? This Webpack config from an earlier one. So what we're doing here is we're gonna override the built-in Webpack configuration that comes with scripts, and I'm gonna give it an entry point for each block, because that's what we're gonna do. So this is gonna be, we'll call it block 1 and brackets, because that's how that works. And then we're gonna say it's in, we're gonna look for it in, so it's relative, so source, and then block 1. Okay, so now that should build out a bunch of stuff in here, and all these names will change to block 1, so we'll have to update that. So let's just do run start. Okay, that looks pretty good. No massive errors there. Okay, so I got that. So let's see. So now in source, block 1, block.json. We got to come out one level. That'll take us to source. One more level. That'll take us out to the root. And then this will be build. But this is no longer called that. It's called block 1. So block 1.js. So let's make sure that works. Save draft. So I don't have to deal with that every time. There it is. Hello, welcome back. Nice to see you. Okay, so we got some CSS issues. That's because all the stuff has changed. So we're So we're gonna change every instance of index into block 1. Cool. Let's make sure. I'm gonna save this, and now we should have our, come on, CSS is loading, and we should have some CSS in the front end, and we do. Okay, cool. So that's all good. Now, excellent. So we didn't want to go with that. All right. So we are set up. We are working here. We got all this stuff going. Everything's good to go. So now let's talk about. So now that we have this in place, let's say that we want to be able to build out. We want to quickly scaffold out more blocks, right? We can do that, for the most part with a template. So looking at, there's a really great example, really great article by a coworker of mine, Marcus Kazmierzak, which is he talks about creating your own block templates. I'll just drop it in the chat here. Have a read of that. It's really, really cool. It kind of goes through everything that you need to kind of make it work. So I won't go through all of that. You can absolutely go ahead and read that. I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at the documentation here, and we'll just build a basic block. So the idea behind this is that we have a template. Okay, so the structure should look something like it'll have a templates folder inside wherever our template is. So let's go back here. I'm gonna add a new folder in here. Now I'm gonna call this just to be so it's very, very clear, because blocks, new blocks, and all that stuff. So I'm gonna say, sorry, templates. I'm gonna say new block template. All right. So inside of that, we're gonna need to have an index.js file, right? And so if we look down here, where's a good way of doing this? So basically what we need is an index.js file. Okay, external template. So we're going to need, so the template configuration is done with the index.js file. And then it has to include at least one, it has to include the templates path. So the way the templates path, and then, so the templates path is just a directory that we're going to call, in this case, we'll call template. Okay, and then so everything inside a template becomes the stuff that this package is going to use to the template is going to use to scaffold things, right? So let's do some basic stuff. So if I just jump back over here, this is sort of like the bare bones template of your index, right? So I called it template, so I'm gonna change that to templates. Okay, now anything inside of this is your template, but there's some things to keep in mind. Everything has to be a mustache template. So if you're not familiar with mustache, you can go and read about it. But anything without .mustache will be ignored. But what mustache allows you to do is do like placeholder replacement. So because there's a whole bunch of things, all of these things that you can use to kind of drop in, right? So people pass. Let's say if someone passes a slug, we'll have availability. We'll be able to use that slug for our templates. So I actually have a template here. I'm gonna just switch over to that real quick. Move it over. So like for example, if we wanted to have a let's take a super simple. Okay, so sorry, I'm a little scattered here. So let's take the source from this block, right? So this is the thing that we need here. And we're going to move it into the template. We're going to call it index.js.mustache. Right? And now I'm just going to ignore this. I'm going to save this. Right? And so this is great. If we were to call this, we will generate a file and it would generate all of this content. But we want to be able to access certain things. We don't want every block to be called create block October, blah, 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 whatever, right? We want to be able to use some slugs in there. And we actually may even want to change this a little bit. Because there's actually this one probably, with the way that we're doing some things, what we can do is we can just import from the block.json file. So let's maybe use the edit. Let's see, is there anything in the edit then? Yeah, so let's use the edit. So if we come over here and we say edit.js.mustache, what? I'm gonna say no for now. So you see, so this is like custom stuff, right? So this is the name of the block, right? So what we can do is all we have to do is put in the sort of handlebars mustache thing that looks like that. And then so the title of the block will get added there. And then in here, change this to text domain, right? So these are the names of like the slugs, the things that get passed, right? So if we look at for here, for example, we've got, where is it? Text domain is in there somewhere. Where is it? So there's like slug and namespace and title and description and category, attributes, and supports. These are all things that get kind of passed through. And yeah, and you can customize these things. That's strange that they don't see text domain in there, but anything that gets passed to the script or you get prompted for will actually work, or will actually get thrown in, be available for these things, right? So in the edit, just to jump over here in case someone's talking. Yeah, so okay, so I'm gonna make a couple of changes here. So this index, I want to do it this way, call it edit from edit, and then we don't need this. This is that object, what do we call that? Object shorthand, so the style.css. So we can do we even have them? Yeah, so I'll copy that over. So css dot mustache. Cool. So in here we can I'm gonna import JSON from block.json, which isn't in here right now, but will get generated by the template. And then I can just say const name equals JSON. So I had a really interesting conversation with friend of mine, Greg, who we talked about whether or not we should be spreading settings inside of this. So in some of my other streams, you've seen this. So we're doing settings, right? And then, so basically what this is saying is give me the name and then everything else and store it in settings. And then I was spreading it, I shouldn't say I was spreading it across the register block type instance like this, which is technically fine. However, one thing that we discovered quickly is that unless you are marking items for translation, this will override the translation stuff that is happening behind the scenes via block.json. So you should be careful doing this, because it if you're using multiple languages, it will not actually get marked for translation. So it's probably better not to add it. So that's something there. Cool. So now we can do this. We can pass name, all that stuff. We're all good. This, can't find it, but that's not a problem yet. So the styles will all just be in here. Oh, this is also a thing. So we can do that. Oh, we can change that to, what do I call that? No, slug, I think, right? Slug. All right, and just for the sake of completeness, I will add the save.js in here, .mustache. Tenant Jake is now following. I think I know you. I think I might know you well. You should, yeah, okay. Hi, Jake, welcome aboard. Oh, what am I doing here? Okay, so we're gonna have that. Help the same content. So all this is pretty straightforward stuff. So what else do we need in here? So this is trying to pull editor. Something's trying to pull editor.css. Yeah, right there. Okay, I'll just pull that in there. Again, anything that doesn't have .mustache at the end will not get copied over. So you have to make sure that that gets copied over. What am I doing over here? So, oh, that's what it is. Okay, so I should be doing it like this. Namespace followed by the slug. It's going to scream at you, but that's totally fine because we don't care. It's going to do what it needs to do. And then so the style that CSS. So again, I'm going to change this. So, oops. So whatever the namespace is, will get replaced. Whatever the slug is, will get replaced. And then we're good to go. And then I think that's it. So, okay, cool. We've all this talking now. So what I'm going to do is we're going to try this out. So I'm gonna kill this. I'm gonna clear this out. And standby. Okay, no, that's fine. Okay. So what I want to do is from inside of here, I'm gonna go npx. I'm gonna call this. Right. I'm gonna do this. Call it second block. Oh no, that's not gonna work from here. So okay, sorry. What you want to do is you want to call this from the place where you want the block to live. I just noticed something's not saved. I'm gonna save that. So where I am sitting right now is basically right at the root, which is not where I want to be. I want to get into the source directory. So I'm just gonna cd into source, right? LSLA. You see we've only got the one block in there. So now I'm going to call the npx package like this. I'm going to call it block2, block dash, can't type, tab 2. And then I'm going to pass the template flag. Now, before, what you had to do is you had to do like at whatever your npm package is, but we don't want that anymore. Or we don't have to do that anymore. What we want to do is we want to come up to the root. So we go up 1, up 2, and then we're going to go into new. Oh wait, I came up too far, I think. So we go in here, new, not new template block. So what this is going to say is create a new block from the template that is stored locally in here. So I'm going to hit this, and we'll wait. And we'll see what's happening. This might work, this might not. A couple things we're probably going to want to change about this. In fact, there are a few things that we're going to want to change. So this is good. This is just running. So we don't need this. We don't need to have the scripts package installed. because we aren't really using it. We have a package.json down here. We have a build process. So that's something that we need to change. But I'm just gonna let that sort of run in the background there. But and while that runs, so all that is done in here. And like we said, we just put a very basic, like super duper basic implementation of just having this template file. Let's see, how are we doing here? Okay, so that's run. So let's look. So in our source, we should have block 2. And see, we have all this extra stuff now, which is okay, but we also don't need it. So let's delete this. And we will come back in here. And so we can look at some of the defaults here of stuff that we want to get rid of. So there's a couple of things in here. The thing that we're going to probably want is this one. So if we say WP script, so this stuff sits inside a default values object. So if we just come up here, right, default values. Oh my goodness. Use. All right, and then in here, we're going to want to add whatever it is that we want to change. So you can set things like if you wanted to have a schema, which I'm going to talk about the schema in a second because this is super awesome, super powerful. But right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just set WP scripts to false. Okay. And so we're going to, now that I've done that, I remember I did that inside of the template directory, right? Which is actually this. You know what? I'm going to change this to files, or maybe I'm just going to leave it. That's fine. Just know that new block template is actually the directory that contains all of the things that we're using. So if I jump back over to my terminal here, I'll clear this out. You can see that I'm running the exact same command. npx, oh my gosh, sorry, npx create block 2 template, new block template. We're gonna let that run, and you should see a difference in here. So that happened way faster. It did not do anything with package.json. It did create one, I think. Let's look back. Yeah, so it did create one. So we don't technically need this, and this is something that maybe I think the package needs some updating with. Well, not updating, maybe just some more options. 5 followers on. Oh, thanks. Love the spam. Anyhow, this is something that maybe, when you turn off scripts, maybe you turn off package, or maybe it's a secondary thing. So right now it's just a bit of cleanup that we have to do. But if we look, the name I gave this thing was what, block 2, I think. So we look in here. Oh, that's not gonna help. So block.json. So we have create block 2, the title. It added all the sort of other defaults. If we look in edit, you can see block 2, editor CSS. We got the right thing, right? So, and then now all we have to do, there's still a couple of steps that we have to do. It's not completely integrated. Like what we'll have to do is come down here and copy this, right? Like that. So we can have it registered. We need to come back into our our Webpack and block 2. Now this is where like having like a glob approach to this would probably be a heck of a lot better. Because would be a lot better. But now if we come back here and we cd back into the root, which we're in now, clear, and we go npm run start, we should get. Ooh, what's that? Can't resolve save.mustache. Did I spell something wrong? Oh, that's weird. Source block 2. Oh, wait, was there a... Oh, that's what happened. Okay, so it looks like one of my... looks like... What happened was, what file is that? That's the index file. So the index template looks like it got updated. The import got updated. So that's all that was. So now let's go back here and we'll just run this again. Make sure it's good. Clear. PM run start. Okay, so that looks like it ran. We got 2 blocks. Second block is called block. It's called block 2. So let's jump over to here. And then we'll go, I'll just reload this. Go block. Block 2? No, it didn't work. That's interesting. All right, let's see why. Oh, I know why. I know why. Another thing we have to do is in the block.json, we'll have to update this because this is actually not correct now. So we have to match it to what we did in the first block. So we came up 2 directories and then block. So I'm just going to basically grab this. No, we'll grab that. I'll come over here to block 2. So there's still definitely some like manual configuration that you have to do for some of this. I have some ideas for the package itself to be able to be a bit more to be a bit smarter about how it handles these things. So this is weird. It says I have 1 viewer. I don't know who it is, but there's more than 1 commenter unless they dropped off. So I don't know. I'm still figuring out the restream thing. So apologies if I look like an idiot. But anyways, it is what it is. So let's reload this. And let's see. Do you have block 2 in here now? Still don't have block 2. What the heck? Create block. Oh, it's already registered. Weird. All right, let's look. Block.json. Block.json. Why is it trying to... Oh, did I not update? Oh, I did. Block 1, block 2. So this is... Name. Oh. Weird. All right, I'm going to do it this way. Strange. Just see if that fixes it. Let's see if that fixes. Oh, did I build? 1 second. Looks okay. Looks good. By followers and viewers. Man, I can get famous by buying viewers and followers. Something's not right. Why is this not working? Okay. Let's see. In here, block 1, source, block 2. So block.json in here is called that. Block 1. This is where copy and pasting always gets me. So yeah, that's the problem. It's trying to re-register it again. So it would be very cool. So one thing I did try to do, actually, one thing I did try to do was have default values inside of here, because it would be super cool to be able to say something like this. So if I had a default value of what am I doing here? Like editor script, for example, right? And I knew that this template's always going to have that. So if I had something like this, but instead of it being block 2, I could do like slug. That would be awesome, because then that would just generate this out, and I wouldn't have to worry about updating things, and then the rest of this could all be in place. Unfortunately, this doesn't work like that yet. I'm hoping maybe we can get it working like that, because it's just because we have these available to it, and you know, as we start working with like different directories and things like that, it's going to be a little different. So unfortunately, what this is going to do is well, here, I'll show you what it does. Let's talk about it. So let's do, and let's see, there it is. So we'll go block, what do I call this thing? It's probably a faster way to do what I'm doing here, but I don't care. Oh, you know what? Why did I do this? CD source npx, boom, and then we'll do block 3. Okay, so that should run that. Okay, so let's look at block 3 now. In block 3, we've got block.json. You see, so it gave us these values, which would be super cool if that just automatically became block 3, which is what that slug is. So there's kind of like a middle ground, I think, between having to do I think default values should be able to parse the slugs or parse the mustache variables. Anyways, that's a long story. But if you did it this way, I guess you could always just do a find and replace, and that would be a lot easier. But yeah. Cool. This is turning out to be a bit of a short stream. I don't really have a lot more to go over right now. There are lots or more things that you can take a look at here. Oh, I know the other thing I want to look at, but we'll talk about that in a second. So you can basically pass all these default values to here, and this will pre-populate the block.json stuff. So like if you had a dependency that you wanted to add, you can add it there. You wanted to do some support stuff, attributes. I don't know. I don't know how useful, say, attributes could be, because most blocks are going to have pretty, like, all the attributes are going to be different. So it's not really. It's not that it's not useful. I can't think of a use case. But like supports is a good one, because what if you wanted to have, say, all of your blocks not support HTML. Which is definitely a use case. You could come in here. I think it'll work like this, and just do supports. And realize I don't need that, but right. So I think we do just put in whatever the supports is. So let's say HTML. Oh, come on, TML, and then set it to false. I think that'll scaffold out a block that will give us the supports attribute of false. So I'm just going to delete block 3 because I just have that command already cached in my thing here. I'm just going to run it real quick. Done. So let's look. So block 3, if you look in block.json, you can see, so it supports HTML false. So this is really cool because it'll actually just support everything, or not support everything. So since we're messing around with this, a really powerful new property well, it's not new, but it is sort of new. So if we do schema and we don't do that, and we do block dot. I tweeted about this last night, so I don't know if you saw it. Cool. If not, it's a thing. Is that not? Oh, that's not it. Oh, it's because that's not it. What am I doing? It's schema store. So JSON schema store block.json. So there's an official, I guess it's official sort of block.json schema available at JSON. I'll drop it in the link in here, in there. So if you put that in here with the property schema, now your IDE knows, or should know, it's not working. Are you kidding me? It was working literally yesterday. So let's try this. Oh, maybe I need to turn that off. I just literally went through this yesterday. It was so cool. There we go. So now you can see. So what was happening there was I have this GitHub Copilot, and it was overriding it. So if you don't have this, right, and you no idea what goes in supports, right? You have to go look it up. But if you add this one line and you do this, you now have access to everything that goes in there. So if you want to, whatever it is that you want, so you want custom class name, it also gives you the default value. So you can set this to false as well. And this works for all levels. So if we did this, as you can see, it's also not including ones that are already in there. So, we don't have any attributes. We need a description, an example. It'll give you the default example. This is a really powerful thing, because now you don't have to go and like jump back and forth and check it out and figure it out. And, and the cool thing is actually also works for theme.json. There's an entry in there, and I think it's theme. I have to look it up again. I think it's poorly named in my opinion. It's theme. Oh, you know what? I'll just have to look it up. I think what I'd like to do is, so if I just do a search for theme, theme JSON version 1. I get the idea behind the versioning number here, but I think it should just be called theme.json, similar to what we're doing with blocks. And then now, if you're like, all this stuff is saying that this isn't valid, that's not allowed in there because it's not part of the thing. But you can do settings, and then inside of settings, it tells you, your colors, and inside of colors, it tells you what you can do. So it's super powerful. This is an amazing just discoverability tool to be able to see what happens. And as the schema is updated, and it's being updated fairly regularly, as Core moves forward, as Gutenberg moves forward. I put together a pull request for block.json because the supports has line item in here and line height and font size. That's actually that's been deprecated. It's not incorrect, it's just been deprecated. Now it actually is supposed to sit under typography. So it would be more like this, but this has not been merged yet, as you can see. So once that stuff gets merged, there'll be an entry for typography that shows up in there. But it's cool because it actually says oh, right, of course, I have to do that. So this should... Was it actually in there? No, it's not in there. It's strange that that's not flagging that as invalid. Let's look. Typography. No, it's not in there yet. Okay, cool. So anyhow, yeah, that's it. That's a very, very, very cool, helpful tool. Now, the one thing to keep in mind with this is that the current block plugin validator will flag that as being incorrectly flag it as being something that is not supported, which is not true. The tool just needs to be updated, and we're actually working on that. There's a couple of track tickets and stuff open, and it is on the radar. The other thing that it will flag is the API version, because the API version will default to 2, but it's for whatever reason it was expecting a string. So yeah, so that'll actually flag it as invalid, even though technically it's not. Yeah, cool. I am kind of all I had for today. It's kind of a short stream, I guess. Only not even an hour, really. But does anyone have questions, comments, things like that? I'm assuming it might just be me and one other person right now, which is totally cool. But not sure how to tell. Yeah. Let's see if there's any chat stuff that I've missed in the various places. Doesn't look like it. Oh, so, okay. Cool. So I think I'm not seeing all the follower count get updated. So if you joined and I didn't welcome you, oh, Adam, hi, how you doing? Looks like I'm way too late today. Yeah, it's kind of a short one today. Sorry, I'm in an echo chamber here. Yeah, so we talked about doing custom templates and some of the things that you can do, but the code will all be there, and I will upload this to all the places, so you'll be able to see this on Twitch and on YouTube as well. I'm also streaming to YouTube today, so it's a bit I'm a bit all over the place. So I do appreciate everyone coming. If I didn't welcome you when you came, I apologize. But like I said, I'm a noob when it comes to streaming. So anyhow, I'm gonna let everyone go. Thanks for joining. Follow me on all those places to get notified when I'm doing this again. And yeah, until next time, talk to you soon.